Battle of the Brits is back.
It is indeed. We've got the men and the women back out on the court. Dan Evans sporting an 80s porn star tash. Kyle Edmund, his usual exuberant self. And Cam.
I don't like the tash. I'm going to just go straight up with it. Like Jordan Thompson, he rocks it quite well. But I feel like Evo...
What about big Steve Johnson?
Yeah, Steve Johnson as well. Like, he rocks it quite well. With Evans, I don't know if it's because I'm not used to him with one, but it just doesn't look right.
I thought he looks.
It's not prominent enough. Do you not think it's not prominent enough?
I thought he looked a little bit like a plumber or something like that.
What's wrong with a plumber?
No, nothing. He just reminded me of like an 80s porn star plumber.
So what have you been making of what's it called? Battle of the Brits?
Battle of the Brits 2. Yeah. Yeah, it's been good. Now they're actually playing outside. They're not playing inside anymore. So we're noticing there's a bit of difference in the play because it's been quite windy over the past week. So you've been noticing they've been like one end you're playing with a massive tailwind, so everything they're hitting is just flying out, and the other end they're smashing into the wind. Been working all right for some. One person it wasn't working all right for, Jo Konta, who with her first game back was a little bit embarrassed. Lost to the young Brit. Was it Jodie Burrage? Is that the right name? Yeah, Jodie Burrage, who actually lost a shoe during one of the points in the match. See?
Yeah, I must admit I didn't actually watch that one, but I caught a bit of the other match she played recently, which I don't know how she come through and won. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
Where she lost the first set 6-2. Second set she was down 3-0. Managed to pull it back to a tie break. Only just won the tie break.
Yeah,
it wasn't like an annihilation in it, or it was like 7-5, I believe. And then third set she come through and won.
And this was against Katie Boulter, wasn't it?
Yeah, Katie Boulter, which is I've got to be honest, mate. Konta should be beating her like every time. Like she's a top 20 player, isn't she? Still
number 14 in the world.
She's 14th in the world, and at the end of the day, the level she's been playing at the last 2 years, she should be able to comfortably beat these type of people. But there's been a lot of problems with her. To be fair, like different things with her coach. I know she had a coach for like a month, and then she's now parted company with him. So it seems like she had a few problems with that coach. Hopefully now with the new coach, things can be a bit better. But there's something definitely missing with her game. Ability-wise, she's got it, but there's clearly a mental blockage where she just beats herself up. What I see of her, she makes a mistake and then she gets really down on herself, and it seems to like she then can't bring it into the next few points.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's her first game back. Don't give her too much of a hard time. Obviously, you don't know. Her opponent's probably been playing more regularly than what she's been playing, so she just stepped back on the court. It's competitive tennis again for the first time.
It's not her first game back, is it?
Yeah, that was her first match back where she lost. So
I thought she played someone before that.
No, and then her second match was yesterday that she actually...
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the second match, even the one she won.
She lost the first match, and the second match she won, but the second match...
Yeah, but when you say she won, mate, she won, yeah, but she made hard work of it, didn't she?
She continued the second match the way that she finished the first match, but there was a change in her mental side in the second set where she was 3-0 down, a set down. She won 5 games straight, and then you saw like it started to come back a little bit. It wasn't completely there at all, nowhere near what her top standard of tennis, but I think this is just the case with people coming back from this break. I think you're not going to see the top level of their tennis for a good few weeks, maybe a month, something like that. Because they got to be playing regularly, and it's women's tennis as well. After all, we know lots of any women's tennis player can somewhat beat any other women's tennis player on any given day. Anyway, you throw a hiatus into the mix, you've got 300 in the world beating top 20.
I'll tell you who did come back with a bang: Alexei Vatutin.
Oh yeah,
he had obviously last season we was covering a lot of him, like watching a lot of his matches, and he's come back playing extremely good tennis. I think he's played only 2 or 3 games. He's won all of them. He beat Cole Schreiber yesterday.
Wow.
Which obviously was a big favourite. It's in Germany as well.
Oh.
But I watched the game as well, and he beat him in 2 sets, looked ridiculously comfortable. And it wasn't like Kolshov was making many unforced errors. It was just clean, straight winners by Alexei Vatutin. And I thought it was incredible. Obviously, his favoured surface is the clay. And it looks like he's really back to some good form. And that's why I wanted to touch on it, because it depends. Like some players, like you see with Konta, she's come back and she's struggled a bit. But other players, they've come back and they're playing better tennis than what they did before. So it does depend on who you are, and sort of it's all different dependent, really.
I think it depends on whether you've had a chance to practice. You never know. Konta might have just been sat at home for the past 3 months and not touched, literally picked up a racket. And there's other players who've probably been practicing once or twice a day or something like that, or maybe even practicing a couple of times a week, still keeping their hand in. That's just the difference. There was people saying they didn't even bother. They just used the time just to relax. Why bother?
Well, I know Rafa didn't play much tennis, did he?
He didn't play anything for the first couple of months. Didn't even bother. Just thought, spend time with family. Yeah, why not? Have a break.
Team definitely did.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think he even had a few days off. He just 2 days after all the tournaments got cancelled, he just probably arranged his own thing. Yeah. And he was off.
Hitting against the wall for the rest of the time.
But anyway, back to the Battle of the Brits. What I wanted to talk about specifically is a bit of beef. What happened on court?
Yeah. Go on.
I'm sure you've seen it, haven't you?
Yeah, I saw it. Go on.
Edmund. Yeah. The game's finished. He's gone to put his racket in. Obviously, there's no handshakes anymore.
Pretty much as the end of the game, Dan Evans runs to the net just to extend his racket, just because that's the new handshake. Holds his racket there for quite a long time, and Edmund just wanders over, and instead of just touching it, just whacks his racket like pretty hard. And then I don't know what they said to each other afterwards. I didn't catch it.
Second time in the space.
Be very careful, Kyle. Be very careful, mate.
I'll tell you my initial reaction. I thought it was a bit of a joke from Edmund. I thought he was just playing around, like being silly, like his friends. Because at the end of the day, they're on the same team. They're in Davis Cup together. They must have played tennis for many years together. They know each other quite well. You would think that they're on a good level where there's a bit of like respect for your fellow countrymen. Do you know what I mean? So I thought it was just a bit of playful banter. But then you look at Evans' face and Edmund's face, and they're like proper angry and serious. And then you start to realise that there's actually beef going on. Oh. And then Evans walks off and he's like, "Oh, you need to watch it, mate. Kyle, watch what you're doing," and stuff like that. And he's gone on to his corner and he just starts slagging him off. He was swearing. It was he's seriously quite upset. But I think it's just all a load of. I think it's just been blown out of proportion massively. Like, it's a bit silly, isn't it?
I think at the end of the day, it's good. This Battle of the Brits thing has made it more competitive, because you've got two guys who are supposed to be 1 and 2 in like the British tennis, and they're playing against each other, and they probably both want that title of being British number 1. Edmund, actually, the first 3 times they played, has actually beat Evans, and in the last 2 games they've played, Evans has pretty much demolished him straight sets. And I think Edmund is probably thinking, this guy's got the better of me, and am I going to be able to beat him ever, really?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think you've summed it up well. I think he's just a bit upset because he wants to have that title of being the number 1 British player. And it's just,
And is it just like the sort of, maybe there's some beef that's been on before, probably because with Dan Evans, his suspension, that type of thing. Maybe he's shown like disrespect to the British LTA, that type of thing. Whereas Edmund has been, it's annoying them both having Evans and Edmund. Easy to get their names muddled up, but Edmund's has always been
Edmonds. It's not Edmonds.
I know, I keep calling him Edmonds. Edmund. It's like Noel Edmonds from Noel's House Party. Edmund.
Saying Edmonds and Evans.
It's fine. He knows what I mean. But Edmund, he's just been one of those by the book players, pretty straight laced, and he's like a polar opposite personality to a Dan Evans, who is like not a party boy, but he's just more of a lad, I'd say. And I don't know, they're just completely different characters, and I can't really see them blending that well. So I can understand they probably try to get along, but they're probably not best of mates. I can't imagine them being best friends.
The one thing I do want to say on it is I do think it is a bit embarrassing, not going to lie. It's an exhibition tournament. Just have a bit of like I can't think of the word.
Don't be a sore loser, you mean?
Just relax a bit, man. It's like it's an exhibition match. You're playing. It doesn't really mean much who wins. You're not going to get more ranking points if you win.
No.
Just do it in a bit more grace of the game.
Yeah, but we don't know what's gone on behind the scenes. Maybe there has been a little bit of bragging between the both of them. Maybe Carl was bragging he was higher in the rankings before. Dan made it ahead of him. Maybe now there's that behind the scenes beef.
Well, I don't think they do get on in general, because I did see an article saying that they'd come together and they said something at the beginning of the year saying how, oh yeah, we get on now, we're good friends. But I didn't know there was ever a problem before that. So there's clearly been a few up and down issues over the years. I'm sure they've known each other for a long time. So we'll just see what happens. Hopefully they can just squash it, to be fair, because it's good that they're both brilliant players. And I think it's in our best interest, the whole country really, that they both get on. It'll be good for our Davis Cup hopes as well.
Yeah, for sure. And then Cam Norrie's just there in sort of like the background. He's just sort of not been mentioned, but he actually beat Evans 2-0 in the first match. So he'll be looking to try and, I don't know.
He's playing him now, isn't he? He's winning now.
He's on right now, yeah. He's actually 6-4 up in the first set tiebreak. So,
he went back to a tiebreak.
Yeah, it's in the tiebreak now, but very, very closely matched. But it's a very interesting dynamic because Evans, got beaten by Norrie. Evans normally beats Edmund now, and Edmund normally beats Norrie. So you've got this weird triangle of players.
That's good, though. At least it's competitive.
Yeah, it is. So there's I think we've got three really promising, great players. Obviously, we spoke to Alex Rybakov. He's best mates with Cam Norrie. Says what a top guy is, and just work ethic is second to none. So not surprised really to be seeing him playing so well this early in from coming back from the break, because he must have been training regardless by the sounds of it.
Yeah, me personally, out of the three, Cam Norrie is actually my favourite. I'll be honest. I enjoy watching his matches more than the other two. Granted, he's not as good probably. He's not done as much in his career. Yet again, he's young, and I think he's. Yeah, no, it's just exciting to watch. I just really enjoy watching him. Especially watching him down at where was it at the beginning of the year? He played in was it Indian Wells Challenger?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, with Nakashima and stuff. I thought that was incredible tennis. I know he lost that game, but I really enjoy watching him, and I think he's got a really bright future in the game. And as you can see, he's beating Evans, and he's beaten before the last time he played him, so he's not exactly no mug.
No,
good player. So yeah, watch his space and see where he can go.
What do you think of the bandana?
Yeah, I like it. I love it, mate. I don't know if that's just the rapper side of me. Fabio Fognini. No, I like it. I think it's a good look, man. I think it's good. It's a bit of flair.
This bit that always hangs down at the back, though. I don't know, because it's not like a proper just one that you just wear like the sweatband. It's like one of these ones you tie.
No, it's a bandana.
Yeah, no, but you tie. I don't know.
Yeah, all bandanas you tie.
For me, it's just...
You're getting mixed up with a headband. All bandanas you tie them.
I don't know. For me, I've never seen a British guy wear one, so it's always a little bit weird.
I love it. It's a breath of fresh air for me, man. I think we need it.
Isn't he
need something a bit different, a bit of flair.
Isn't he New Zealand anyway, though, isn't he? So maybe he's got a cause.
Yeah, but Kyle Edmund's from South Africa on that same logic.
So Dan Evans is our only real hope, then. Yeah, but speaking about British tennis, I've noticed Andy Murray's been popping up in the headlines a little bit, saying that he's actually looking towards this US Open now. So we could be seeing Andy Murray making an appearance. What do you think of that?
Well, before I answer that, did you see him yesterday, in the doubles?
Oh, yeah, he lost.
Yeah, he did all right, though. It was mixed doubles. He was playing with...
doubles, though, isn't it?
He was playing with, what's her name? The girl you said at the beginning?
What? Katie Boulter?
No, the one before that.
Oh, Burridge?
Yeah, he was playing with Burridge in the doubles against Raducanu.
Yeah,
and
Raducanu. Who else?
Joe
Salisbury, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but Joe Salisbury's an amazing doubles player, obviously. He normally plays men's doubles, isn't he, with Raji Varam, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're in they're top of the food chain doubles for men's tennis. So you've got a doubles player regular on your team, you're going to be more than likely winning.
It was close though. The first set they won it 6-2, and then after that I think it went to a super breaker in the final, and they just lost 10-8. So it was close. But
Close.
oh well, back onto his US Open.
Yeah.
In bigger news.
What do you think?
Whether I think he's going to go. To be honest, the way based off all the headlines, I think he's going to turn up. Whether he does any good, I hate to say it, I doubt he'll do very well.
I think he might. I think we might be surprised. I think if he was to actually go, I think we might see like a fourth round. I think he might get to there.
I'm not sure. It obviously depends on the draw.
Depends on the route, because he's going to.
His route is going to be pretty tough, right?
Yeah, probably.
Because he's going to be a wild card into the tournament.
Probably.
So he's not
probably.
So he's going to get a tough draw. His first round's going to be against someone pretty decent. So whether he even gets through that, it's going to be. The odds are going to be stacked against him from day one. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
And obviously he's got the ability. He's shown it before. He's an incredible player, but he's coming back from the injury.
You've got to remember though, like when you get to the US Open and stuff like that, and like where the stakes are so high, if he's playing against someone higher ranked, obviously, but young, he has all that experience. He's been there. He's done it.
But you're talking like this is a normal US Open. This is like going to be like a alien competition. There's no one there. There's no fans.
The pressure's still on.
It's different though, isn't it? It's like a training. It's a big match, but it's like it's behind closed doors.
Yeah, but people have come out and already said that the pressure's still there. Don't feel
the pressure's not going to be the same as what it would be with all the fans there and the whole build up to a tournament. This is done completely different.
It's still the same stakes on the line.
Yeah, in essence, but it's never going to be the same. It's always going to be an.
When you come up to serve for a set, you're still going to be thinking, if I don't get this serve in and I double fault, then they're going to come back, I'm out, and I don't become a Grand Slam champion.
Okay, but is it a lot easier to do it behind closed doors or when you've got fans?
You've still got millions.
1,000 fans.
You've probably got
you can't see
a billion people watching.
Mate, it's like getting on a stage and performing in front of people or performing in front of a camera. Like here now, yeah, we're doing the podcast and there's no one here. I'm just talking to you like a normal conversation. Would I be able to have this same conversation if there was 1,000 people in a crowd in front of me listening to what we're saying? We could get 1,000 views on this, but we're not going to... I wouldn't be able to do it in front of 1,000 people watching me.
Yeah, but if you're doing it on a stage...
I'd be crumbling right now. I wouldn't have the confidence at all.
Bad example, because when you're on a stage, there's so many bright lights, you don't even see the crowd. So you're literally performing without seeing anyone anyway. It's only when the lights go off that you see anybody.
You're looking... Okay, you're going too much into my example. It's still the same concept, what I'm saying.
Someone's got to pick it apart because it's that... Still the same things are on the line. If you're there and it means something to you, then you would perform at your best. And you're always, everything will mean something to you. Like even in any of these events, if there's a title on the line.
To a level, of course. It's a bit more than an exhibition match, isn't it?
Money on the line. Ranking points on the line.
Yeah.
Like your legacy on the line. Like this could be an opportunity for some players to win a US Open or get to the semi-final. That's like that goes down in history still. Like those sort of things won't be forgotten.
I don't take it away from that, but I think it's still a lot easier to do that than do it with all the fans, because that's the big difference. Because these players, anyone inside the top 500, to get inside the top 500, the amount of games they've played at junior level, the ITFs, they've played an incredible amount of matches to get to the level of being a top 500 professional. So they're able to deal with high pressure situations in, say, colleges or different places where they've played growing up, even when they're really young, like in their juniors and stuff. They're able to play under pressure when not many people are watching them, and they're accustomed to that. So it's going to be no difference between someone who's never won a Grand Slam, like a Medvedev. He'd have played in all them high pressure junior situations. A Medvedev plus a Murray now, he's more used to that. The only thing Murray's got over him is used to them big pressure moments and the big fans and the big moments. And he's won Grand Slams in front of packed crowds. That's what I'm trying to say.
But I guess you can look at it either way. I guess there's a case for it's a Grand Slam and what the players are feeling inside and how players react to crowds. So I think Murray's always been a little bit nervy, and that's the mental side sometimes is where he's let himself down on big stages sometimes. Maybe that's the crowd. Maybe it's just something within himself. But with his game, because it's such a defensive game, he gets away with it in a way because
he doesn't have. It's a lot easier. I feel. Well, it's not a lot easier. It's an extremely difficult skill, but it's easier to play big moments being a defensive player than being an attacking player. I feel because you've then got to go the extra mile to do big things.
Well, for sure, and that's why. Well, the forever GOAT debate that always comes up is with the Djokovic argument. Is he's a very defensive player, and that's why a lot of people move towards Federer, because he's spent his whole career since he's started winning Grand Slams being aggressive on the court and just trying to hit as many winners as possible. It goes for stuff, and that's what people want to see ultimately. It's like when you go into a boxing ring and you see you got the one guy at one end who knocks guys unconscious, or you've got the other guy who wins on points. Who's the one who people can like want to go and see or want who sway towards? Obviously, you have people like Floyd Mayweather. That he's considered one of the greatest of all time, but
not an entertainer, is it?
No, he's not as entertaining. I think that's the problem with it. I think that's why some people sway towards Federer. It doesn't diminish any of Djokovic's like results or any of his like tournament wins, but it's just what people want to see. It's a spectator sport at the end of the day. And like when we spoke to Donskoy, he said that exact same thing. So I'm sort of just echoing what he said. He said that's why I like him. Goes for everything.
But one thing in Djokovic's support here is the way he plays crucial points is better than anyone who's ever played the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
He is someone at 30 all on his serve. He's able to manipulate that game into the way he wants it to sort of be played out. He's extremely intelligent. And you can say he's very defensive, but his backhands, what he does cross-court, his cross-court backhands, is the best in the world. No one can do that shot like he does. And it's just super, super effective.
We saw him against Monfils, didn't we, earlier this year?
Yeah,
and
exactly,
you saw when he had 2 or 3 match points against him, and it's just he doesn't like wilt under that pressure at all. He just gets it back in, but gets it.
But he plays it different. I think he plays these points differently.
Yeah,
like he has a game plan. Why are you so intelligent? His strategy is like second to none, and he has a game plan for these special big points. Like predominantly, it's always sort of known that if you play the ball on the opponent's backhand, then you've got an advantage. Like predominantly, I think players will aim to hit 80% on the backhand and 20% on the forehand of the opponent. With these on big points, with him, he's just extremely intelligent. Where he doesn't follow no rules. He does what he feels at the moment based on the way the player's playing at that specific time. He likes to call the player's bluff when they're expecting it on their backhand. He'll play it on the forehand, or he'll play straight to the body,
to the middle,
mix it up. Yeah, he's very unpredictable, and he's someone who's able to manipulate big points in a way which favours him, and that's why he's won so many titles and done so well in his career. Granted, he's a ridiculously good player as well. I think that does help. You can't have the natural ability to match it, but mentally, he's just next level, and that's why I do admire him for that.
He hits plenty of winners as well. Like, let's not forget.
On the subject of what you want to watch, like you said, Federer is so entertaining what he does. Or Nadal. Nadal doesn't get enough love. Like I've said many times on the podcast, he's my favourite player to watch.
Yeah, he probably brings the most passion to a tennis court out of any player that you probably have ever seen. So he's one that he's always in the picture. Like, he's the one that finally came along so that we could see something different other than just Federer. So he's always there in the picture. And it's difficult. There's when the Djokovic era came along, which is sort of now, and it's more about like players can't beat him more than he beats players. It's just like where'd you go? They've got to go so close to all the lines that they're just beating themselves half the time. Because you see, he does the splits, he does like into the net, back to the back of the court. He's got every shot in the book. So how do you beat the guy? And that's the one problem that everybody has: how to beat him, because he doesn't necessarily even have to beat you because you can't beat him. That's how I'd sum him up,
isn't it?
Yeah, it literally is. It's just crazy to watch him play and just think people were smashing shots at him and they're coming back. You have to literally throw a kitchen sink at him to win a point.
Well, tennis is coming back, man, so I'm excited. All this talk's definitely getting me excited for the upcoming US Open and French Open.
Yeah.
See what happens with that. I know they've released like the schedule now for the tournaments. Obviously, the ATP Challenger schedule has been released now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I feel like a few of them has now been cancelled.
Yeah,
However,
I believe so.
Yeah, which is a shame, but it's inevitable. We're gonna have to just accept that that's the way it's gonna be. US Open looks like it's going to be going ahead, although America's not in a very good place. We've touched on this many times now on the podcast, but the cases seem to keep rising and rising. So we'll see what happens there, whether it's safe. A lot of players aren't going to be turning up.
No.
But yeah, it's exciting. At least they're doing the qualifiers. Qualifiers are going to be hitting off first. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
we had to see some underdogs play. Something we love doing. We love watching maybe a few of the challenger guys coming through and playing. That's going to be really good. And then obviously, French Open straight after that.
Yeah, that was one thing I just wanted to. Obviously, we touched on it in the last one briefly, and I posted. Well, you posted about it. I posted about it. It was we were talking about Carlos Alcaraz Garcia, and we were talking about another obviously great talent on the clay court tour was Carlos Taberna as well. We thought we might see him, and then they actually played each other the next day after we did the last pod. And Alcaraz Garcia, man, I mean, 17 years old, 6-1, 6-1 against Carlos Taberna.
First game back.
Jeez,
the form just continued. That's what I'm saying. Like, some people can come back with a bang, and others can come back like Conta. I don't want to be harsh, but it seems like the way it is, and it just shows. Depends. Maybe, like you said, maybe he's been playing loads of tennis non-stop.
We'll keep shouting his name.
I don't think he even has. I just think he's just this guy. He's just a beast.
Yeah, he is.
He's just the future. Like, it's going to be so exciting to see him. I really hope we get to see him at Roland Garros.
I can't wait. I'm just hoping that there is some sort of big result coming for him soon, like a fourth round of a slam. Like, I want to see him go deep into a tournament early in his career, because I think if he does that, it's just like we're off to the races with this kid.
Well, we've seen it on the women's side. Coric did it at Wimbledon.
Exactly, and I think he could be
similar age,
male equivalent. Like he's touted as the next Nadal, isn't he?
Yeah,
that's what they say. But he sort of sees himself.
Yeah, but that's only because he's Spanish and
on clay. Awesome.
However, the way he plays is more like a Federer.
Yeah.
I think he even said that. He come out in an interview and was like, people referring to me as the next Nadal. I feel like my game is definitely a lot more like Federer's. But we'll see. We'll see. The future's definitely bright for him. He's going to be up there. Can't wait to see him and Lorenzo Musetti as well. I want to bring his name in there. Another one I just love. I think them two are going to have a lot of battles over the
I hope so.
years.
That's going to be
I don't think they've ever played each other.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but it's going to happen sooner or later for sure.
Yeah. Go on.
So onto some other news. We touched on some beef at the beginning. I've got a bit more beef for you, Ben.
Oh, who's beefing?
You know, who's going to be involved in this beef?
Don't know.
Well, name a name. You're going to know who it is.
I'm going to go with, just off the top of my head, I'm going to go with a Nick Kyrgios, maybe.
Exactly. Nick Kyrgios. Back on Twitter again. Ranting off. This time, Borna Coric is
They've been going for a while, haven't they?
Yeah, it's still going. Like this morning, I was looking. They're still talking. They're going off at each other. So obviously, Coric has come out and hit back at Kyrgios, saying about how you're no person to really talk. We understand the Adria Tour shouldn't have happened. However, who do you think you are talking about it? I think he used different words to that, but basically that's the whole.
Hasn't Kyrgios been seen out at some sort of parties or something since as well?
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's just not. It's hard, isn't it, to be a gatekeeper when you're going out to clubs yourself? Like his argument is, he went out to a club in Canberra, and there's been no cases there whatsoever. It's 2 weeks since then. He's not tested positive, so that's his justification to prove the fact that he was able to do what he did. However, if the Adria Tour, no one tested positive on that, we would have still been calling it wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because it's not. But you can't.
That's what made the headlines.
It's only unlucky that they tested positive. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's irresponsible of Kyrgios to have gone to the club. At the end of the day, like, you can't be saying stuff like that. I completely agree with Kyrgios, actually. The whole thing, everything he said up until now is fine. Like, it's bad of what they've done in the Adria Tour. However, him to keep vocalising the fact they're fellow players at the end of the day, and I feel like it's not a really good look to sort of slag off your own players.
I think he's just doing it just to stay in the media a little bit, though. I think he likes just getting. I think he's a bit bored. Skin. Yeah, everyone is. I mean,
it's a bit like the Evo. It's like the Evo Edmund thing. At the end of the day, they've probably been pretty bored. They're not been playing their usual schedule of tennis, and stuff are going to come to blows more than ever. Really, it's over an exhibition match, and Edmund's only just tapped his racket. It's a bit silly and childish, but everything's getting so intensified because people are bored and have been locked in their houses for so long. And I feel like Kyrgios is just taking this opportunity because he's bored to make a big deal out of something, when in theory he's done a lot worse in his career. However, it's still right what he's saying. They shouldn't have done what they did, but did it take him to say that? Does he need to say that?
That's his latest
Probably
tweet.
not.
Say, then he says intelligence level is 0 or IQ is 0.
Yeah, and then called him a donut. That's what he calls people. He calls people donuts. He is funny, man. I like Kyrgios. He's a breath of fresh air in tennis, and it's good to always follow him. But I don't know if this is really the right thing for him to be doing. But oh well, it's a bit of fun. I'm not going to slander him too much for it. I don't really care. It's just
Kyrgios being Kyrgios.
Yeah, I don't think he's personal. Like, he's not personally attacking these players. I think he would just call out anyone for all it is. He's just a bit bored, but...
Well, we could speak forever on all of his tweets. He's always on there.
Yeah.
Well,
another bit of beef, man. There's a lot of beef, isn't there?
I think there is. There's a lot going around, but that's just because people are bored. So let's try and relieve people's boredom with a new segment on the podcast we're going to introduce. It's called Big 3 Facts.
Big 3 Facts.
So yeah, I've did a little bit of research, tried to come up with a little fact for you. This one about Roger Federer. Did you know, like in the main draw of events in the ATP, Roger Federer is actually ranked 3rd with the most aces of all time? Can you guess who is 2nd and 1st in this list?
Wait, is this a quiz or a fact? It's more like a quiz.
He's ranked 3rd. So this is a fact. Roger Federer.
If we're going to keep doing this every week, you're not going to be quizzing me every week.
No, I'm not going to quiz you. But this one, I just thought it was interesting because he is 3rd of all time in the most amount of aces. I thought you'd be interested to just have a little stab in the dark. Who was number 2, and then who was number 1?
Well, thanks for putting me on the spot there, Robbo.
That's all right. Just have a.
It's got to be one of the big guys, isn't it?
Okay.
So it's got to be a John Isner.
Correct. He is number 2 for most aces.
Number 2. God, I was hoping he was number 1.
So who do you think is it coming in at number 1?
With number one, is he still playing now?
He is. He is still playing.
He's still actively playing. So it's one of the big guys.
Go on.
I don't know. It's Kevin Anderson or something like that.
No, I think older. Think taller and older.
What's the Canadian guy? Raonic?
Nah, taller. Not as high ranked.
Not as high ranked. He's still playing.
Yeah. European.
Oh, yeah, I know it is. Karlovic.
Yeah, big old Ivo Karlovic. Do you want to know how many aces that he has served in his career?
What, Karlovic?
Yeah, Karlovic.
20,000? I don't know. That's ridiculous.
Oh, that's quite high. It's lower than that.
Wow, like 10,000.
Yeah, you're sort of getting closer. It's 13.
Is it less? Oh, yeah. 13.
13,633 aces, and Federer with 11,344.
Crazy high, Federer. Wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you look down,
he's playing for so long though.
This list, though, yeah, obviously he's one of the older players. You got next on the list, Goran Ivanisevic, number 4 with 10,131. You got Feliciano Lopez. That's a bit of a surprise for some reason.
What about Raonic? Is Raonic on there?
Raonic, he's not in the top 20. You've got up there Pete Sampras. He's at number 7. Andy Roddick at number 6.
Yeah, Roddick.
I'll put the list up so people can have a look. Kev Anderson's in there though. You're right. He's number 14 on the list. Another Croatian, Marin Cilic.
What about Del Potro? No, I guess not.
Nah, he's got probably more forehand winners than the. Yeah, Federer, 11,344 aces. Do you reckon he's going to be able to get to the top of that list before he retires?
No. I'll be honest. Because Karlovic is still playing and Isner's still playing. They're both banging down aces. I'll tell you who you are going to see on the list, though. Riley Opelka.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's joining that list in a few years' time. I know he's obviously young at the moment, so he's not really got much of a chance. But if you look at his probably season aces, he's right up there, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. He's
hitting ridiculous amount of aces every year.
I think he's got I looked at some other stats. I think he's got one of the most aces per set in already. So
already? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's going to probably take that record, maybe. Depends how much. It depends how long Karlovic's going to keep playing for, because he's still playing. He's still knocking them down. What's he, like 41?
Yeah, I think so. He only has to serve, doesn't he? Can always get to a tie
he's good. I like him at the net.
Really?
He's a quality player, man.
Can't lob him, can you?
He's a quality player. No disrespect for Karlovic on this.
No,
I like him, man.
He's a giant in the sport.
I like seeing him at Wimbledon as well.
Yeah. He's one of the old greats
for sure.
But yeah, Federer, third of all time in most aces. So that's this pod's big 3 fact.
Nice. Can't wait for the next one. So we'll bring this to every podcast now, I guess. We'll just have a little fact for the podcast about the big 3. Yeah, it's a good one. I enjoyed that. Well done, Ben.
No worries.
I mean, to prepare the next one for next episode.
Yeah, do it, mate. Test me if you want. Maybe we can make
it hard as well.
Maybe we can get some other people to send in their big 3. If you've got some unusual big 3 facts you don't think that we might know, send them in. Send it on a DM. Send us a DM on Instagram or something.
DM on Twitter or Instagram. I'm Twitter, he's Instagram, so you can choose who says it to the other person.
Exactly.
But anyway, I think we'll cut it there, the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like the video, comment. We'll bring another one towards the end of the week. I guess that's it for now. Peace.
Indeed.